Hello, I'm Steve Monkey Mason, and I am back once again with Paul Allen Ray and Carl McSorley, if you ask Paul Ray. And today we are doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I am pressing play. 3, 2, 1, doink! Right, this is one of the best films ever made.
Well, it's still up there, isn't it? It's still up there in terms of filmmaking, in terms of doing live action and animation. Hadn't really been done as well as it was done here, in my opinion.
I love the bit of Touchstone Pictures when it's get doom doom doom. It's just got that proper noir look to it straight away.
It's always films where people don't realise it's Disney because of Beneficia. You know what I mean? It's almost one that you don't do. If it's Disney, is it because obviously Beneficia or Vista, whatever you want to call it, is like Disney separate company, so they can do a bit more adult films under a different banner, isn't it? Like Hollywood Pictures years ago.
Well, it's...
Well, wasn't there a thing? I can't remember what it is now. I think I remember seeing it on Disney Plus. There's only this is the only time where you see Mickey Mouse outside of in a live action film or something like that, where they kind of admitted, like you say, that it was a Disney project and stuff like that.
Well, the thing is, the Disney one, the Disney didn't want the name put towards it being a bit more violent, because there's a lot more violence in this than is possible. And obviously, it's an Amblin Entertainment, it's a Joel Silver, it is the be's all and end all of the 80s. And you know what I mean, this took 2.5 years to make, and plus Roger Rabbit was a brand new character made. Robert Zemeckis had been trying to make it for years, and it wasn't until Back to the Future was a hit that he got the opportunity to make this, since Spielberg's got his fingers in a lot of pies as well, so...
But like I say, it was something of a strange one, because to be honest with you, I saw this on VHS, and I'll be honest, I think as a younger person, probably not really taken too much in, but when you watch it now, it's just like, there must have been some mental people in the cinema going, what's this film all about? Because it starts off, obviously, as we're watching it now, just pure animation, like a Tom and Jerry film, so it's like, when you sit there and go, there must have been people going into this blind, just going, oh, we'll see what this is about, and then thinking, what the fuck?
Well, Bob Hoskins...
Wasn't there a cartoon beforehand in the pictures of Roger Rabbit before the film started, if I remember right?
On the DVD or Blu-ray, there's 3 extra little cartoons which are really well developed. Yeah. There's even a Jaws spoof in one of them. So, again, they were, franchising it out, because Roger Rabbit appears in Back to the Future 2 as well. He's sitting in the shop window.
The 80s window.
But this was kind of it was sold on the fact that, it's a British movie. It was pretty much all made in England except for all the outer shots. But again, it was Bob Hoskins wasn't well known, but Bob Hoskins is absolutely amazing in it as well, because it's more of a pantomime. I mean, this is the Bible for if anyone was to act with CGI. This would be what you look at, because this is how they had to do it. There's a lot of stuff that once this breaks the fourth wall and it comes out of the cartoon. Just all the stuff that anything the toon's holding is robotically puppeteered around in that, and it just what makes this film outstanding.
Everything was hand drawn in the film frames, wasn't it? It's amazing. This is the last big special effects animated film of the 80s, really, isn't it?
Well, how many frames do you think there is in this movie, animation frames? Every still...
Well, I think the frame Roger Rabbit once. Ha ha.
80,000 stills to make it.
24 frames in a second, so there would be.
Acme as well.
Double check there just to see what it actually if I was right. I know we confirmed it, but as of today. This is the only time cartoon characters from Disney and Warner Brothers appeared on the screen together.
I mean, if they made a second one now, and Roger Rabbit and they're all that in trouble and all that, Disney would be all over it, but you probably wouldn't have Warner Brothers in. And that's what makes it iconic. And here, the guy who comes up and starts shouting at them is actually Joel Silver, who is obviously a massive producer of movies there. That's him slamming down the script.
This is when you watch it, go, oh my god, it's actually real people. It's actually then you realise what it is. I think the first time ever seen this was probably on videotape, right? I think it was called a videotape with me, like.
Videotape or
VHS,
Christmas. Yeah. I mean, the classic cover of Bob Hoskins holding Roger Rabbit, now we just get them all in the car riding down. And again, it's a weird one because it's not Disney, but then it belongs in Disney, but then Disney don't really honour it as Disney, if you know what I mean, especially how very particularly Disney are about their distribution.
I remember when Pirates of the Caribbean came out, it was Beneficia, and then as soon as it made loads of money and it got popular, it was like Disney Presents Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, and now Disney's
it was just one of the lower tier, well not lower tier, but it probably wasn't the highest demand Disney ride, wasn't it? Yeah. It was just like Wonderful World, you know, it's like stuff like it was a thing that they had in the stock for ages. No one really thought about it, so
goddamn tunes. Now this one, I only watch it every now and then. It's not one I go to like once a year. It's every few years I watch a film. Like,
it's been a couple of years for me, but I love there was a few interviews I was looking through earlier on just to sort of get a feel of what the workings on set was like, and I always quite like this one. Bob Hoskins, apparently his son didn't talk to him for 2 weeks because he couldn't believe that he worked with the likes of Bugs Bunny and didn't let him meet him and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just it must have been really weird for a bloke that age. I'm drawing a blank on the name. I'm gonna have to look it up. One of the first Bob Hoskins films I actually saw was, strangely enough, that I remember really proper film, was the one with Denzel Washington. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's not a very common one, to be honest with you. It's probably one of the older ones.
No, this is the 1930s, isn't it?
Noir. Very noir.
Yeah.
But again, Steven Spielberg was just we're not just doing this for for getting people in live animation in one movie. It has to have a good story, and that's what Spielberg was masterful about, because he was it needs to have a backstory, and that's where the red car and this whole he needs a will and all this kinds of stuff was put into perspective, you know.
Yeah. And obviously Pee Wee Herman was supposed to do the voice, wasn't he? Paul Rubens was supposed to do the voice of Roger Rabbit, but
Charles Fletcher is a fucking weird guy, because I've only ever seen him in one movie, and I talked about this the other day. It's called The Batlock Murders with Corey Haim. And even when you see him on set on here, he is just dressed up as Roger Rabbit, and there's something that's definitely not wired right.
Paul, you'll have watched it. What was that on Disney Plus? The Props.
The Props one, yeah.
Yeah, because he's on that, Mason. If you haven't seen that, it's not really long. They're probably only 20-minute episodes or something like that. But they're the one for Roger Rabbit, and they're showing you does he still have the model Roger Rabbit? He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got I think he has.
He's got the blinds as well. He's got the blinds where Roger Rabbit's framed after running through it.
Genius,
so he's a bit of a cartoon character in himself,
This is absolute. You mean you wouldn't get Dumbo turning up as you would now, the next joke?
A live action Dumbo? Sure, but
never work.
No.
There you go. And there's Dumbo. You just wouldn't get that now.
That film I was on about Denzel and Bob Hoskins called Heart Condition. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a great film. It's probably one of the unsung hero ones. It's basically Bob Hoskins is a pretty rough cop who's quite a racist. He of course gets himself in a bit of an issue, gets shot, and then they end up giving him a black bloke's heart as a recovery thing, and it turned out to be Denzel Washington. So you've got this kind of drop dead Fred kind of scenario where Denzel's sort of with him in spirit, and is trying to make him a better person and stuff like that. But
so basically, it's his character, but he's tunist.
Essentially, yeah.
Bob Hoskins is absolutely tremendous in this. He's just sort of But again, when you're watching this, I mean, there's the Brooms from Fantasia, and it's just you're looking everywhere on these kind of films.
I love the backstage thing, because it always reminds me of The Wizard. It reminds me of this. It reminds me of Moonwalker also. You know, when the claymation people are trying to chase Michael Jackson. It makes the same thing. I love the backdrop stuff. That's your dream.
I would say it looks really nostalgic Hollywood, didn't it? It's like they've done a really good job with the set.
Well, it's all like like all the physical stuff there, and all like wireworks and wire gags, and just as a kid, like when I seen this, it's just fucking mind blowing. I mean, Bugs Bunny just randomly appeared in the background, but like, he's hidden towards a really good cameo later on. But
what's up, Doc? Sorry,
I would have totally done that like when I was a kid. If you could just like ride the back of a tram.
To save money, I would.
Yeah.
Well, again, this is based on real problems though, because obviously cars and all, it's the era of cars coming in and obviously making freeways and that.
There was no warning when I started watching this film about kids smoking. I need this changed and edited now for 2021.
It probably will be edited if if it ends up on Disney Plus. I bet that's cut.
Is it? I'm watching Disney Plus.
Is it cut?
No, it's on there. Which is very surprising.
Yeah. They're giving him a cigarette.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh yeah. Thanks for the cigarette, kid. Yep. Disgusting. Are you watching on Plus, are you?
Aye.
I'm watching on Blu-ray.
Well, we call it a Plus because we're cool kids.
I've got Disney Plus. I just don't use it.
Alright. Oh, Lisa. Oh, great.
So obviously, given that this is such an accomplished film, given everything we was able to do, I'll give you a hint. It is probably the most expensive film in the 80s. But what do you think the budget is?
I would say 67.
67? What about you, Mason?
Oh, it's not that high. It's the 80s, man. It's about 40.
That's not an answer. You're saying 40? Well, Mason, you'd be incredibly wrong. You're almost there, Paul. It's bang on 70 million.
70. No, I'm close enough. Cool.
70. Because if it but in its worldwide gross, it earned just shy of 330 million.
Nice.
That's mental when you think about it. 88, you know what I mean?
This set here is actually in London.
I was going to believe that, yeah.
You know what I mean, eh?
It's a very English setting.
You went to peanuts, dear mate? You went to peanuts, eh? Get down those
man's a cup of tea, man. Cappuccino crumpet.
Get down on this apple and pears pet. Who did the music? Was it
I know.
Alan Silvestri?
Yeah.
He always works with Max, doesn't he?
Did Predator as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and Back to the Future. You can tell with his music.
I own all three of them soundtracks on vinyl.
Oh. Is that
Yeah.
Is that little person with the cowboy hat on? Yeah, it's a little person, I think.
It is, right? Little man.
Must be a 4K transfer on this. I've only just noticed it. It's all those films where sometimes it's in the family section, sometimes in the Disney section, sometimes it's just in the main A to Z. It's almost ones it's like could be in one of the three, really, isn't it?
Well, that's it. It's kind of like it's one of the best movies of the 80s, that's for sure. It's one of the best movies ever made. Just for how long it's taken.
I always remember the scene with the boiled egg. I don't know what it is, but it just seemed to resonate with us.
Yeah. Eat it. See, I can't remember much of this film apart from like little bits and bobs of it.
Oh, it's like, I think like, if you'd quizzed it beforehand, I'd be like probably here or there. But once it's starting playing, I can like automatically, it's going through my head now, all the different scenes in this. I've seen this a lot.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Yeah, funny enough, everyone I've seen, because obviously amongst yourselves, I mean, I watch a lot of film, but I have not got a good brain for memory. Like, if people like, someone will pick up like a movie quiz and go, "Oh, what's such and such?" I'll be like, "I've no idea." What?
Surprised you didn't get that one though, Paul. same dog in the alleyway as the same dog from Back to the Future.
Einstein.
Einstein.
Einstein, Marty.
This is like Carl at Beamish.
Oh shit,
This coming up here is one of the best scenes in cinema. Daffy Duck and Donald Duck on a mental fucking piano thing. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's never gonna happen again.
And the penguins, obviously, waiters. I always forget about that.
But the penguins and all the waiters and all these, everything you see them holding, it's all like puppeteered from the roof. It's just, it's all. That's what makes this film mint.
Yeah. Classic. Oh, this Squidly did, if I remember right.
That's exactly who I thought. I think they're trying to imitate him.
Oh yeah, the third
He's
party one.
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, he's Hanna-Barbera. He's.
It's Diddly Squidly.
Even in the reflections and that, man, it's class.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's all like hand drawn on film cells and framed and.
Did you ever have Invisible Ink?
No.
Did you? We had it as a kid. I think we when we were like in our teens and we picked it up. It was awful. We ended up putting it on some kids' shirt.
Like
and cried.
Like those magazines by years ago used to have like X-ray specs with just like really bad 3D glasses and like snakes' eggs and like an envelope, but it was just like a spinny thing with like a band around it.
Alright. Classic toys, man. They're never get old. Kid done in the stand these days.
I've got like that 1930s, like you said, kind of thing, isn't it? Like the Three Amigos kind of had like that backlot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely comical genius, this one. But all the actual piano
Duck's
is.
got very sinister there with his longer hair, hasn't he?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's based on the original one, is it? It's not like the one that's done now. It's like the original 1930s one. Because obviously when you used to go to cinema years ago, you used to put a cartoon on before the film, didn't it? Or on Saturday morning matinees. This is like when you watch The Mask, when he's got
The Coco Cabana.
Yeah.
But the old ones, I forgot what they're called now. The Max thingy music ones.
Betty Boo's about to appear.
Betty Boo. She wouldn't be allowed in the modern world today, would she?
She's too black and white, isn't she? She had a revival years ago, if I remember right. Because when you used to walk past Kite Rebels, there used to be loads of Betty Boop stuff in.
Oh, I mean, I think she's a classic look. I feel like
today,
you couldn't do like another cartoon based on how they treat her.
Alright, ILM's about to walk in here. Jessica Rabbit, there's very anomalies between the characters because Jessica Rabbit doesn't have a nose or a waist. I mean, but again, have you seen who the voice of her is? Because I didn't realise that.
Isn't it Kathleen Turner from, what do you call it? Oh my god, not Romance in a Storm, what's it called?
Yeah.
It is Kathleen Turner, isn't it?
Aye, she has not aged well. She's in a few newer films where she looks like a man.
Dumb and Dumber 2.
Aye.
She was in that one, she.
Aye, it's fucking like, what?
Who's that?
Kathleen Turner.
You recognise her. She was like, was it Romance in the Storm with Kurt Douglas she was in?
Yeah, but then she just totally looks different.
Oh yeah.
The animation on her dress and all that, it's just absolutely unbelievable.
Aye, Kathleen Turner, she was in Romancing the Stone with the old Douglas. But yeah, she's kind of changed a little bit now. Like, I mean, we all get old, changed, don't we?
Doesn't she play Chandler's dad in Friends?
I think so. I don't really watch Friends that much, but I'm sure she did, yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna have to IMDb. I can't think of it.
Yeah. Just go on the spices. Like just smoke like 50 a dozen.
Kathleen Turner, there was a Kathleen.
Yeah, Kathleen, I think. Catherine. Just go with Manson the Stone.
Yeah.
Kathleen Turner, yeah. And again, it's like I was just saying about like The Mask before. That was kind of set in 1950s, 60s, 70s. It's weird because The Mask is like it's like a cartoon film also, if you think about it, but a lot more CGI. That's also kind of like film noir kind of thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
they just kind of switched up, didn't they? Put it more live action with a dabble of cartoon in it.
yeah. I keep forgetting about that.
I'm going to have to quickly nip to the toilet, very unprofessional of me, but you know. There you go.
Yeah.
I was saying, not even 20 minutes in.
Is that the Raven? The Crows from Gumball playing the piano before? The racist Crows?
Yeah. Yeah, the one that they didn't make an appearance on the Dumbo film.
Boo, you racist Crows. Why never seen an elephant fly? Oh. Yeah, I've had too much sweetener today. That's weird because it said it is like a family film, but there's a lot of like adult reference towards it, isn't there?
Because I think the whole reaction to Jessica Rabbit is purely based on the fact that it's so unusual to see a cartoon character being so sexualized. You know, it's like that was very much the case of it's not something that just happened to happen. It's something that they wanted. You know, they wanted you to fancy it. But then, have you ever seen? Someone did like a. I don't know if it was an advert or whether it was just a sketch on its own, but it's basically it's like all the cartoon characters, but like years gone by. And then you've got like Jessica Rabbit, who's like she's or like 25 stone or something like that. She sounds like she smoked 20 a day.
I was just excited to see Mason. It's like a family film, but it's very adult oriented, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, because she's like having an affair kind of thing, but she's not.
Well, the whole patty cake, it's like as a kid, mum and dad, it's patty cake, well, essentially are having sex. There's a deleted scene coming up. I don't even guys know about this. Obviously, after this takes place, he actually is it no? It might. Hang on, I'll explain later on when it comes in. But do you know anything about the deleted scene where he breaks into this room, and Christopher Lloyd finds him, and the weasels take him to Toontown, and then he ends up with a big pig on his head. He ends up having to run around trying to get this pig off his head.
No, but it sounds awesome.
Well, it's a very first finished scene of the movie, the animation, so it's on the deleted scenes, and it looks fucking mental because there's the bit where the pig's head, when he washes it off, all goes down the sinkhole, and it looks amazing. But I'll show you when it comes into this movie. But it's him again trying to like spy on people.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I found really interesting, and I can totally buy it as well, is that obviously Christopher Lloyd did an amazing job at Judge Doom, but apparently Tim Curry originally auditioned for it, and Robert Zemeckis, Steven Spielberg, pretty much everyone just found his performance too terrifying.
Well,
really I just thought, I totally believe that, and I kind of want to see it.
Tim Curry, definitely, man. Awesome. But I think because Lloyd obviously was in Back to the Future and in those films, so they've worked with him before. But he does a really good Judge Doom, like.
He totally gets it, man. That's the thing with Christopher Lloyd. He just totally gets it. And, like, there's a lot of, like, again, the gag, there's loads of gags written in here. Especially the scene where he's going patty cake, patty cake, patty cake. And because he's an animation and it's funny, it does there. But just look at Bob Hoskins in the following scene when the glass explodes in his hand and that. And it's just like, it's just so well, like, filmmaking.
Is it the PG or 12? Can't remember.
It's a PG.
PG. He's drinking there like Disney. I'm going to have to complain against you, Disney. You haven't cut it out. Which is good.
Okay, Maroon. You see, he just is the only one. But again, when he's getting pushed on the desk and that's just Bob Hoskins, like going for it. You
Yeah.
see?
Like I say, I take this. It does really. I mean, people might not think so, but it does take a kind of special type of actor to be able to really pull off interacting with something that is essentially not even there.
I mean, you can tell just watching Roger Rabbit on the table. Like you said, you can tell it's all animated, but it looks amazing. I mean, it looks really amazing.
Well, the chair's moving, do you know what I mean? And then this here, like, just in the same scene, and like the shadows.
Yeah, but then again, if you think about animation's been done before like that, obviously like Mary Poppins and Bedknobs and Broomsticks and Stung of the South, I mean, well, it had live action in movies. Oh, it was a movie. Obviously, the technology's moved on so much as I can have a full-length film. But like I said, it has been done before Roger Rabbit, but Roger Rabbit kind of, changed the framework.
Well, again, it's
big, like this is like the big blockbuster attempt at doing it. I think though, like even Thunder South, take away the controversy and stuff like that. The difference is that was almost like treated a TV movie. Same as the other one, they never quite made it.
there's one called
Like,
Cool
massively.
World, wasn't there? Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
But
Mary Poppins, was that before or after this? That was before, wasn't it?
fuck me, man. No,
Was that
it was a good one.
the 90s?
Very fucking in the 90s.
Oh, and the music video with Thingy and the cat. Oh, what was it called?
Oh, I can't walk that one.
10 Steps. Oh, was it?
No, it's Alicia Keys. No, she's too young.
Fucking hell.
Oh, who was she?
Paula Abdul or something.
Paula Abdul, yeah, that's right, aye. She had like a cheetah, didn't she? Like a cheetah cat.
Aye.
It was almost like a Cheetos cat, I think. Like really.
Second now. Paula Abdul with cat song. My, I better be careful what I write on my Google sometimes.
Now, just going back to there though, at the end of the day, Steven Spielberg, he's got George Lucas to help out with ILM, Disney's behind it, Warner Bros. Are associated with it, Joel Silver, I mean, he went on to do fucking Lethal Weapons and all kinds of stuff, The Matrix, and then you've got Robert Zemeckis. It's just got the bees all and ends all of people who were like wanting to be like, you know what I mean? It's just like, right, we're going to do this, we need the best to do it, and obviously...
You need to get a house made. Bloody dust on the table.
You don't get that anymore because, I mean, like I say, yes, they were all kind of in the same household, but at the same time, like, it was back in a time when if you had a project that good, it was worth collaborating with each other with.
Well, it's like
Whereas
this
you
shot
won't see
here.
that anymore.
This shot comes across, tells a bit of a story, and it's one continuous shot. It's not a motion control camera, and all it is in the background, they're running around set dressing it, so it goes from night to day, and it's one continuous shot. Again, it's filmmaking done on like storyboard level where it's just fantastically made.
Yeah.
Bloody phone.
Isn't this guy here in Star Wars?
Eh?
The other detective, isn't he in Star
Yes,
Wars?
he's the one who mocks Darth Vader for his wizardry and gets choked out.
From A New Hope?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
When he goes out, when he tells Darth, he says, "Don't scare us with your sorcery, Lord Vader."
Alright.
Another film that cacked him last night. The rabbit cacked him. Another film that's like this is Chinatown. That's got that noir look to it.
I think we need more of it. To be honest with you, I really like the idea of doing something like that. I mean, even if you put a twist on what we're getting these days, I mean, I would rather say, like, I've got the comic book Wolverine Noir, and it's like really well done, but then Sin City did really well the first time round, but the second one seemed to have flopped, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, they had LA Noir the game as well, didn't they?
Well, what's that?
Now this sets up the ending here. There's so much going on in
I was
this
going to
scene.
say, this is such a busy scene, isn't it? Like, you can literally pause and...
Guy.
Brilliant.
Like
I'm going to interrupt this here. This is very important. It's called Opposites Attract. There we go. Put out Abdul music video for cat. Sorry.
Fucking elephant in a net on the ceiling, fucking cactuses.
I love that. I totally wanted that as a kid. The invisible spot. The black hole eye.
Just fucking
Yeah,
mental.
for a second there, I forgot nobody can see what I'm looking at.
Didn't you used to be Eddie Valiant?
Oh yeah. So when does come out? 1988 or something?
Sorry?
When did this come out? Was it 1988?
Yeah.
It was greenlit in 1981 though, because it was been in development for about 10 years.
Right, so it took so long, didn't it? Mind you, again, something that you'll miss in the modern world is like people waiting at the right time to get something done right.
Oh,
Although that is a bit controversial, though, because I would then also argue that that's what kind of James Cameron talks about when he talks about Avatar. Which, that's all well and good, but
Yeah.
he sells it as such an original idea, and it's not.
Well,
Bugs us.
Oh, yes, Judge Doom, he's absolutely awesome. Christopher Lloyd is mental. It's very scary in some. 1988 films we have Willow, one of my favourites. Die Hard. Didn't Joel Silver produce Die Hard also?
Yeah.
Frantic, Grey Outdoors, Bloodsport, Moonwalker, Akira, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Land Before Time, Young Guns, Rain Man, Coming to America, Cocktail, Twins, Big, Short Circuit 2, Lay Live, Vice Versa, Deadpool, Beetlejuice, Scrooge, Working Girl, Child's Play, Elvira, Rambo 3, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, so Critters 2, sorry, Twins. So yeah, a canny bit of films in 1988, like.
We're about to
I
witness.
could say it. I didn't think Child's Play was that age. I
Yeah,
thought Child's Play
yeah.
was early 90s.
No.
Child's Play,
I thought it would have been 1991 or something like that.
no, Child's Play 1988. Child's Play 3 was 1981, but then Child's Play 3 was 1990 because the third one was banned, remember?
Could have
That was the second one.
The train.
It was the second one.
No, the third one was banned.
No, the third one was banned because it had like a train scene. It looked a little bit like well, it was a little too close to like James
Definitely
Bond.
the second one. Definitely the second one.
Well, you're about man. It's not man.
It is,
The
man.
third one?
It's not, man.
Listen, you and your golfers can do
Huh?
like.
Do you know there was meant to be 7 weasels, but because they were meant to be the dwarfs from Snow White.
Of course, although this is quite a dark bit.
This
isn't it?
is
I mean,
horrible,
he's
this.
a dark character, but this is a scene which it just feels really harsh. Even for this film, I know the film does have its shades, but I feel like it's such an unnecessary scene.
But not really, it's useless. It's only a right shoe. Where's the left one? It's useless.
It's just so
You know what I mean?
sinister. But again, that's how well the movie is. You actually feel for this one lost shoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you call it dip? Is it called the dip or something? I forgot now because I've got subtitles on.
The dip.
I called it the dip. That literally just came up on the screen.
Oh, thanks, man.
But they're on about how Toons were immortal, but then obviously all the hyenas meet the demise by laughing to death.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers.
So I knew I had a note on it, Mason. I just wanted to bring it up while you said it. So obviously it was meant to be the 7 weasels, as in the 7 dwarfs, but I do in fact have the names. So we have Greasy, Sleazy, Wheezy, Smartass, Psycho, Stupid, and Slimy.
Roger.
Let's call the reason.
I mean, that bit there, man, he's got the red goo in his hands. It's fucking horrible. Like, especially if it's going to be a
Yeah.
kid's fucking movie.
Well, listen, I just feel like everything can work as a kid/adult film. That seemed a bit much, and I like it. Ah, the baby. See, Paul, you're gonna lose your brain here. Like, 'cause this is not only a baby, but yep, it's a baby smoking a cigar.
Alright, that's it, Disney. I'm going to write a horrible letter to you now. I don't think there was any warnings when I put it on. They all have warnings, don't they?
Yeah, because I think it's I don't know. I don't want to like kind of put it in a place of like that no one cares, but I think it's probably one of those films that they've just put onto Disney Plus and not really thought it probably won't get like a huge amount of watches.
And he slapped her on.
Yeah, he slapped, sexual harassment, smoking.
Okay, maybe him. Right, Child's Play 3 initially got banned as well as the second one in England.
Alright, so
So they both got banned at the same time.
All I got from that was that we were right, Paul, so, you know.
yeah. I remember I was waiting for
Well, you know, what other film got banned at that time though? For the same thing? Macaulay Culkin
for the
movie,
same
The
thing.
Good Son.
The Good Son, Elijah Wood. That was a dark film. That
Fuck
I don't
me,
think I
aye.
was really. I never really expected that until I watched it. I don't know. It was a VHS one from the video shop my mum worked at, and I just saw Macaulay Culkin. It was like, they look like a cool idea.
But the thing was just Macaulay Culkin in at 18. You were like, oh, what's this?
Well, I think it was like it was before Home Alone, wasn't it?
That was after.
No, it was after Home Alone 2. It was in between.
Right, so well, that would make sense, because obviously I recognise him, but it's one of those things where I feel like, I don't know, it's a ballsy move, and I think it works in the context that it worked, but I don't know how much it made. I don't know if it was a successful film.
Well, just
Can I just say, Eddie's noticed the thing in his pocket, yeah? Okay? Magnifying that. What does that remind you of? Robert Zemeckis' film?
Back to the Future. Great Scott!
Back to the Future 10.
Back to the Future 2, where he's got a sports almanac and the thing, and Doc goes, "See you, Marty!" And then they check him, and he's got the almanac in his pocket, and he's using magnifying glass, doesn't he, to see?
Well, it's also the fact as well that Jessica Rabbit looks completely fucking different.
Yeah. Huh?
Jessica Rabbit looks completely different.
Or like a proper hand drawn.
Nah, she's got like a big smile on that.
No. Right. That's an officer better to have.
Here's Roger.
Please. Can you imagine Pee Wee in the voice? Right, I know her. Right, no way.
Yeah, it's just to clarify, The Good Son definitely made some money. 17 million budget, but it made 60 million overall. Well done.
Does anyone remember the like there was stuff on like Disney was in around this time? I remember stuff like the Rescue Rangers, Chippendale was really popular. You had Tailspin, but then you had a one called Bonkers, which was essentially a kind of Roger Rabbit clone, wasn't he?
I remember it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I watched it, but I know what you're on about, yeah.
I remember when there's people dressed as gophers going around and doing stuff. I remember that.
Yeah.
No idea. No idea about that one.
The Beavers.
See, this is just amazing. This is just the way he's interacting with essentially nothing.
It's fucking class.
Didn't he do Mermaids after this? Bob Hoskins with Cher.
Yeah, I mean, The Long Good Friday. I think The Long Good Friday took a while to become a cult following because he's a right bastard and that. But like, I mean, he obviously got on Spielberg's radar because he would be in Hook after this as well.
I was going to say that's Shmee. Shmee. So Roger Rabbit, Super Mario Brothers. I forgot he was in that. Hook, Mona Lisa, Mermaids, Snow White and the Huntsman. Apparently, the Christmas Carol must have did a voice, you know, the Jim Carrey one.
He was in Doomsday as well. That was one of his last films, wasn't it? Because he was always signed to be in Roger Rabbit too, but they just could never get it going. But coming up here is one of the best. This is one of the best things. It's established earlier on with the whole dust on his desk. It's a bit when Roger touches the fucking chair and moves it and it leaves fingerprints. It's just fucking tremendous. Yeah. It's coming up like with my version anyway here. It's like
it just happened now on mine.
It's
Just
just,
shake it.
it's fucking
It's
class.
happened.
It's just the fingerprints, man. It's fucking brilliant.
Well, can I say, if he's got gloves on, I don't think there'll be any fingerprints on it. Actually, just be forensically speaking.
Well, he wouldn't have any fingerprints anyway. It's a cartoon, so there we go. I'm just saying.
Well, why doesn't he report that also? He was also in.
You know what it is? I've just imagined the perfect buddy cop film. Mason and fucking Ray. Like, detectives in disguise.
What, like Sharky and George? Aye, fucking be right.
Monsters of the sea, Sharky and George, they solve any mystery. That'd be awesome. That'd be like Baywatch Nights, but worse.
Oh, fucking.
Jesus.
With me and Mason. But obviously, I have to have stunt doubles with 6-packs and stuff. But it'd be really bad. It'd be explosions, but it'd be people wearing like our suits and our costumes and that, but it won't be us. We can tell. It'd have a good theme tune, though.
You know a film that's very like this, guys, and this it has that noir feel to it, but it's not noir. Batteries Not Included.
Yeah, aye.
So beautiful. Ugh.
Now, I'll have to rewatch it. I may be wrong, but do you know if, because this is great, obviously it's the best that's been done, but was Space Jam as good in terms of the blending live action with animation?
No.
I always felt the animation was too colourful, if that makes sense. It was almost like eyes that CGI.
You know what makes Space Jam not work very well? Space Jam doesn't work very well because Michael Jordan can't act. It's the interaction.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, you can't, but what I mean is, like, for some bizarre reason, I have no idea how to explain it, but, like, I can see them talking to Bob Hoskin, and it looks, yeah, I believe he's talking to them. Whereas
Well,
I
that's
always
it,
thought when I watched Space Jam that, like, when Bugs Bunny was talking to Michael Jordan, I never really felt. Again, that was probably did have a lot to do with the fact that Michael Jordan wasn't very good at acting, but I feel like everyone, like Bill Murray's a good actor, and even he had a little bit of a, it was just jarring. It just never really worked for me.
I thought Dan Aykroyd was in Space Jam.
Not that I know of.
It's Danny DeVito, isn't it? Is
There's a
it
joke.
Aykroyd.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd, but it's actually Bill Murray. One of the jokes.
Well, one of the films that was essentially Space Jam 2, and it didn't light the box office on fire, was Looney Tunes Back in Action.
That was Brendan Fraser, wasn't it?
Mm.
No? Yeah.
Joe Dante?
But Space Jam 2 is coming out.
It is, yeah.
It's well, in fact, I think it's mostly done.
What I think is, because it's in the mask and also. Oh, the road.
Yeah. It's weird because it's got the mask. It's got Pennywise of all people. It's apparently Warner Brothers has thrown a bunch of characters in there,
like a universe, like MCU. Yeah. But going back to what you said, Carl, I think what it is because they're all hand drawn and they've got that human element. When CGI doesn't.
But I feel like if I say the colours are bright and vibrant in this, but at the same time, yeah, in a sense that like the toned down,
Got
like
he's
not a cartoon, if that makes sense. He looks like he's just a.
It's like if you're hand drawn like Jar Jar Binks, you'd probably like him a lot more than the CGI. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm surprised Lucas didn't have his hand in that. I've got this idea for a character.
But he was waiting like 10 years so you could do the prequels because of you wait for the.
I mean,
love the sequel.
another thing as well is another film that we haven't really talked about, but again, it's Spielberg Magic's Ready Player One. This film proved that Spielberg had enough power, even in the 80s, to fucking, you know what I mean, go right do this. But again, Disney had no involvement in that, and hence why it went other directions. There's that little person again.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's the same guy in it. Yeah, I think with Ready Player One, it's really bizarre. I think to be honest with you, I think it because it had such a strong book following. I love it. I don't think it's like the best film in the world. I love it for the nostalgia. I love it for like the all the Easter eggs and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think people just didn't seem to get on board with it that much. They've announced a second one now as well. So
yeah. watch it. I love that bit where eye pops out and knocks the glasses over.
It's just fucking genius, man, isn't it? It's just loads of like comical gags and stuff. It's just fucking great.
I like how it's got like emergency bulk like a bunker kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, this was there was the well, it's not just the war thing. It's at this point, alcohol had been banned for a lot of years.
I love that. Sorry, just him taking his hand out of the cups.
That's right, though, Carl, isn't it? Like the idea that there was a ban on alcohol and there was a lot of smuggling and stuff like that. So.
Oh, it was massive. Absolutely, yeah.
You mean like the Simpsons episode where they had the bowling balls filled with alcohol?
Yeah, that was a nod towards it as well.
See, that's pretty cool. Oh my god, it's a sports almanac!
Has he... I don't know if I've missed it. Had he said the line yet? Like, one of my favourite lines in this, where he says, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way."
The wifey... Does Thingy say that? Jessica Rabbit say that?
Jessica Rabbit says... No, it's Jessica Rabbit. I'm not a bad person.
I envisioned it was him. I just think it's a really clever line.
Because your favourite's so kind of like seductively voiced. Drawn everywhere.
I laugh at this now and I didn't as a kid. The whole, like, again, back to what we were talking about before the podcast went live on the air. Prostate. Not probate, prostate. It's the whole, like, he's getting probate, you idiot, not prostate. It's because he's on about, Roger's on about Goofy having to take tablets, and obviously referencing that Goofy's got to shove tablets up his bum for his prostate. It's just like, that is not made for fucking kids. You know what I mean?
Nah.
I think, I just call, I think if I'm right.
Right, so this is what I was on about before. This scene here, that intercuts here, this is where the pig head was deleted because he comes out the shower and it's made it look like he's coming out the bathroom, but he had came out the shower from washing down. So if anyone's seen the pig head clip, it's really funny and just completely like something that I hadn't ever seen until I checked the extra features on this disc.
The thing is, I like Toontown when it shows you when you go through the tunnel for Back to the Future 2. It's a Toontown. I like that first exposure of it. It's like, oh my god, because that's a great transition. Well, and that is a tunnel from Back to the Future 2.
Well, you do see the tunnel. You don't see Bob Hoskins in Toontown. What you see is the weasels take him down the tunnel, and then this witch flies across. The moon is asleep. The cloud gets up and punches the witch, and then sort of like a morning blind flips up and it becomes daylight and the camera pans back down and Bob Hoskins comes flying out and he's got this bag on his head and then he's running around so you can see his face, but it's a huge pig head on top of him, and it's just never heard of it, and it's a really well good scene, but it was the first finished scene of the movie and it just got completely chopped, just like James Cameron did on Aliens, where he chopped the third act out to make the film shorter, and the third act is when they find the spaceship from the first fucking movie that ties the first movie together, and the guy gets the mask on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. When finds out occurred out in a special edition.
Just fucking wax his head.
I love how he bends down, just get his pants up, and then as he comes up, he like knocks her tits. It's just like, what the fuck?
Well, that's it. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I picked it up from the documentary that the fact that Jessica Rabbit's whole body, like a tit would essentially naturally go down, they would go up. There was loads of like things that did to keep her, because again, it was a hard cartoon to draw because it was the only cartoon like her. But
yeah. Now, I think with the world of streaming, now I know it's been done before, so it can be done, but it's just like, it seems like an ideal thing to do now. If you're wanting to like put in deleted scenes for people to watch, why not have it so that you can select it as the file's being played? So like, especially with streaming, you know, so like it will come up. I just feel like you get a much better idea of what the scene was meant to look like, or at least how it was meant to play out. if you're watching it in time when it was meant to be played.
Well, that's one.
Some of them work, but I always found it weird. Like if you'd want a DVD and select deleted scene, it's like 10 deleted scenes one after the other. It's just like you sit there and go, "Well, that was great. Why didn't that work?" And you probably think, "Oh, I would have."
Well, it's like when you watch Waterworld and Waterworld's uncut and you think, fucking hell. But again, Waterworld's done the correct thing, like you've just said. But talking about there on physical formats, with all the streaming and stuff, extra features are getting lost again. Do you know what I mean? What made DVD and Blu-rays really cool is the ability to have extra features and companies. You're not getting that when you're streaming. You're just getting lost in the...
Actually, I can say Disney Plus are, though. That's the thing I give credit to Disney Plus. Because they are putting all the deleted scenes in, or at least, I don't know if all of them, but I know they're definitely putting bonus stuff on it, bonus like deleted scenes and documentaries and stuff like that on them. Personally, I did think, and I think they're still holding out, to be honest with you, but I still think there's a lot of stuff that they're holding back, which I was hoping it would be almost an exclusive. Like, let's say you buy Avengers, you get special features, but if you have it on Disney Plus, you'll get special features that weren't put on the disc because they can upload that quite easy. There's no time restriction with that.
Well, the thing with Disney, I think discussed before, when you buy a Disney DVD, there's nothing on it apart from the film.
Yeah.
You have to buy the Blu-ray to get extra features, but then again, not all those extra features are on the Blu-ray because you have to buy the 3-disc set. Then if you don't buy a 3-disc set, it's exclusive somewhere else. Then it's something else and it's something else. But like I said, I think that's a good thing about Disney Plus is actually do have deleted scenes on and alternative scenes. But going back to Blu-ray, when I first bought, because Cat was on the third kind, you had an option of 3 different films on the same disc to watch, and it would tell you branching out. There you go, Mason.
Hey.
Which version you were watching? Anyways, Judge Doom. I think it's probably one of my favourite scenes actually, where he's doing the song.
It's just the whole idea that again, going back to like funny things that exist in this movie universe, is the fact that rat-a-tat-tat and like No Tune cannot resist of like finishing the chord. So like he's just like, to me, that's how he gets caught.
Can I just say,
the guy's getting some decent screen time, isn't he?
Have you ever noticed him before? I've never noticed him, but he got shrunk again, didn't he? He put him down smaller.
He pushed him down. I'm glad I haven't got the sound on this. Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd's never looked young, has he?
No.
Well, yeah, the Suburban Commando where he's got hair, he does.
But Suburban Commando's a couple of years after this, though.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying, I know.
The youngest I think I've seen Christopher Lloyd in, I mean, don't get us wrong, he's in Taxi and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I think it's maybe his Adventures of Banzu. What's he called? Banzu what?
Adventure of Buckaroo Banzai.
That's the one.
Banzai. With Robocop.
Rabbit Dip.
You can tell it's the best show about music, but you can just tell the song straight away. It's got like that kind of moth to it, not string.
It's a Disney film called Harvey with an imaginary rabbit.
It's Warner Brothers. Oh, not Universal.
Warner Brothers, isn't it?
It's, not Universal. It's
I've always wanted to pick it up because it looks like it's really good, but I've never seen it. It's always one of those like covers.
Is Imaginary Rabbit?
Yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, I always like.
Yeah, James Stewart one. Harvey. Which kind of remains in Donnie Darko with his Invisible Rabbit. It does look a bit different. You got one of Patrick Swayze's one, and the one isn't. Those are called vinyl kids. Oh no, so cool these days. Vinyl's cool, remember?
And now, but them vinyls back in that day, you could fucking kill somebody if you chuck one of them at them. It's here!
Tell you.
I would like to see a Judge Doom pop vinyl. Obviously, the Chase version would be no hat and big eyes, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Have they done any of the Roger Rabbits? I haven't, have they?
No. Not that I know of, anyway. No, I think there is a Roger Rabbit one. But it's just Roger Rabbit. I don't think there's...
And looks like a Mayberry, does it?
Well, it's I think it's the same issue that you would have what you did with your monster one, Mason. I think it's the eyes. Because I think another character where they give them like bulge eye, it just totally takes away the characteristic of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You can get Roger Rabbit, and you get Jessica Rabbit once, but yeah, that's what you can get.
Roger.
Unless it's no, this is all Amazon, eh? Oh, you can get them.
That's an Amazon, yeah. Two of
Wait,
them.
no, you can get a Judge Doom one as well. He's got the spiral eyes and the blonde hair sticking up. Must have been it's like part of the end. You can also get one of the Weasels, Smarty Weasel. It must be the 4 set because I'm looking at it here, and there's a picture where it's all 4 of them. But you're right, like Roger Rabbit's got like big black eyes. It doesn't look right.
That's the thing with Pops, like I said. Sometimes they look really good. I mean, the animated characters and animals and monsters look really good on Pops. So sometimes the characters, like action figures, don't. But then sometimes they do. It's weird. Well, it's drinking and it's for the mold, so.
Drinking, smoking, a lot, mate.
A little person, cowboys.
They're all just sitting there to watch. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. You can see Bob Hoskins' eyeline kind of going a little bit above his head, a little bit, like, but it still looks amazing. That's what happens when you drink, people.
It's when you drink
Just say no,
fucking
kids.
spirits.
Oh, alright. Yeah.
Oh, put the tits down, man. I mean, come on. Jesus Christ. I love this boosh kick. I mean, just all the stuff breaking in the background. It's just great acting, like, of everyone.
This is a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? Where Judge Doom like goes back a little bit from the dip, isn't it? Kind of like a bit of a giveaway now.
Yeah.
Secret. Because he says it's not deeply for people, doesn't it? It doesn't harm people, so.
This must have won a few Academy Awards.
I think it got nominated. Definitely got nominated. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he's Benny in the back.
Award visual effects, editing, sound editing, achievement Academy Award. Bloody hell. Cinematography nominated, best production nominated, and best sound mixing nominated. So award 1, 2, 3, 4 by looks of it.
We've got a few others as well, though. I'm looking at. Sorry, I didn't know you were chatting. It got the Kids' Choice favourite movie, the David Di Donatello best foreign producer.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Saturn Award for best director. Robert
Uranus.
No, not Uranus, just Saturn. Uranus is taking a bit of punishment today by the sound of it.
What's that supposed to be?
You were talking about it before. There's a lot of cut out of this scene as well. In the commentary, they're on about how, like, because when they get down the alley and it's just like it's the longest alley ever. Just to like cut back a bit on stuff. Really, this alley here, it's just like goes on forever.
Isn't there like a little go-kart or something like that? If I remember right, or like it's drawn around, isn't it? If I remember right, not go-kart, but like a.
It's like a buggy thing, yeah.
It's getting pulled. Yeah.
It is like a practical thing. He is driving something.
Oh yeah. I remember like a steering wheel, and I remember like a skeleton being outside it.
Yeah.
The
Pull the lever.
Yeah, he says getting too old for this.
But the bikers just get chucking out the alley as well. It's quite cartoonish.
That should have been the woman and the baby again.
Right.
Would have been nice for a kind of continuation.
They're on about this. That's Pasadena. That though. That's where they're on about. Like they had trouble shutting that down. Because obviously it's not just you driving a car up there and you're getting it done. He's going down there on a buggy and you've got all the old cars. But it's known in the documentary how many times like they would have to send the cars back and forth to America and shipping for the scenes and all that for them old cars. And this apparently is the most zaniest cartoon they could find that Disney would let them use for this. Because Disney don't do violence.
No.
Yeah.
So it hasn't got it's only got 2, but it hasn't got the strongest of taglines.
Wait, hang on, sorry, before you talk, or listen, just before you say this, when she walks in, she gets, sorry I'm late, I had to shake the weasels. It's just like, come on.
I'm not there yet, they're still in the cinema.
I know, I'm saying when she comes in the cinema.
Right.
What are you going to say about the taglines?
So the taglines, there's only 2, not the strongest one, but we've got Jeepers! Look who's returned to the cinema like never before.
Well, that's got to be a reissue.
I wonder if we're going to rerun, yeah. And then the second one is, it's a story of a man, a woman, and a rabbit in a triangle of trouble.
Again, I can't remember the tagline for this film at all. I just remember the front cover.
Yeah.
Well, one of the problems I had was a question mark, because a lot of people like, where's the question mark? And they're like, well, you don't put it on a movie title. And they had a big hoo-ha about that, do you know what I mean?
Was it like the original cover with Bob Hoskins and Roger Rabbit on the front, but he's like on his shoulders or like around his neck or something like that, or something like that? Because it wasn't a car.
I think if one of you guys go on IMDb, I think Roger Rabbit. I don't even think it was used to be called Roger Rabbit. I think it had an alternative name.
Steve.
Well, I'm gonna say the one I'm looking at now is the one that I remember, which is it's blue. And it's got Roger Rabbit kissing Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, I've got that on VHS, yeah.
But then obviously the new one is when they're brought in the car.
Yeah.
But I'm just flicking through some of them. And
that's the one I remember, Carl, the one I just mentioned, the one where it's, that's it, the blue one. It's got Roger Rabbit, Bob Hoskins, it's got Jessica Rabbit, the baby, and Juma at the bottom.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's what I remember. Never got the years.
I'm not a fan of the one with the movie strip in the shape of Roger Rabbit.
Is it not like the American one?
I think it must be like at least a more newer one.
If I remember right. Is it the same from cover? It's got a pink strip around its left and right.
Yeah.
Hey, you there. Sorry I'm late, Eddie. I had to shake the weasels.
Alright. Plenty of weasel shaking these days, I imagine. Lockdown.
Oh yeah, I forgot it did that new cover, haven't you, Mason?
Oh, with the red and Roger Rabbit smashing through the bricks.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Right, it's part of one of Disney's like
live action covers. Yeah, I see what you mean, Carl. The one where it's like the film strip, it's the strip of Roger Rabbit, and it's got the stills from film. Yeah, I think that was
it just doesn't strike me a good like advertisement for the film.
So going back to just looking up some history of Roger Rabbit there. Roger Rabbit was originally going to star in the animated show now known as Bonkers. However, he couldn't because of copyright conflicts between Amblin and Disney. The show was forced to create its original character, so there was plans to keep Roger Rabbit alive rather than just a one-off movie.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
I feel like it served itself well that way because I feel like, I don't know, I think Disney would have gone down that kind of 1 million sequels that nobody would have cared about.
Alright, so it's based on a 1981 novel Who Censored Roger Rabbit. That's what it was originally
Right.
called.
And it did a few cartoon shows, didn't it? Just Roger Rabbit.
Well, it did, but it's Steven Spielberg. But I initially look at them. I mean, don't get us wrong; they're really good. There's one of them going camping. There's one of roller coasters. But like, it almost looks like these were like the ideas for the opening cartoon, and they just went, well, we might as well produce all of them, if you know what I mean. So,
Yeah.
because Kathleen Turner's the voice of Jessica Rabbit and all of them. This is one bit where they had to correct Bob Hoskins' eyeline as well, having him sim up against the wall because he was looking a bit too high.
I'm not surprised me, Philip. Boom, boom. Man with the golden gun.
Paranoia, like someone creeping in behind him.
You can tell that's Alan Silvestri. That music just so Alan Silvestri, you can just hear the first few tone of it. You know it's him straight away from Back to the Future and Predator.
I remember messaging you, Paul, because I never realised it was the same composer, but you can totally tell it's that.
All his music sounds the same. It's that kind of score. Like Jim Goldsmith have his own kind of like sound. As Professor has sound, James Horner have his own sound. They all have their own sound, but you can tell straight away that's Alan Silvestri. Like Danny Elfman have his own kind of music, but it sounds like everything else he's done. They'll have that little niche, don't they?
Turn around. Sticks his fucking right hand at the face. Have that.
Apparently, Mason, there are some original. There are some versions out there. I don't know what versions would be, but there are some versions out there that automatically include the pighead sequence. Apparently.
It's worth having a look at. Like, I mean, as I say, I never even fucking heard of it till I was watching the extras on this. Like, so.
Yeah.
I'll look after it's done. I think it's on Disney Plus. I'll look after it's done. If not being
it should be on here.
Dun dun dun. Here comes a silent gun.
But oh yeah, see Bob Hoskins do a little jump and twirl there. Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? Bloody hell.
I'm just looking at some alternate versions, and I never knew this. So the original run and the VHS and Laserdisc release. Pee-wee Herman storms off the set. He puts his hand up the woman's dress. Apparently, the middle finger is on his hand is clearly extended.
Well, it's like the bit when Jessica Rabbit comes flying out the car in a bit, and it's just she's got her legs wide open towards the camera, and like loads of people freeze frame it on there. So they've probably taken that out of Disney Plus.
Yeah, lots of people freeze frame it. Yeah.
It's Jessica Rabbit's beaver
Do
shot.
that now. Is that coming up, Mason? Did you say?
It will be, aye.
So yeah, guys, this tunnel is from Back to the Future 2, the very long tunnel where he's trying to get the sports almanac off the
You
pin.
know, it now looks very familiar now that you say it.
I fucking love these bullet cartoons, like, they're fucking class.
Oh yeah.
Well, the bullets, yeah.
Well, apparently, I actually couldn't find them to save me life, but apparently you can get like a, I don't know if it's like SD or something like that, but someone actually made this. Cause I saw a picture of it and I thought, oh, that's not real because it looks too nice. But then someone like sent us a link saying, oh, you could actually buy them if you get them custom made.
The bullets.
Well, it's like the whole thing, this box, the gun, along with all the bullets.
I believe it because I've seen like 3D printed like movie stuff on eBay and stuff like that.
Yeah, I imagine with 3D printers these days it's fairly standard.
Like the 3D printer from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
Eddie Valiant! Let's go, boys. Which way did he go?
So they're saying that Mexicans are lazy and tired.
I'm not saying anything. If anything, Mexicans are known to be absolute full-on workhorses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Speedy Gonzalez. Arriba. I love this transition. Yeah, it's like I think one of my favorite scenes.
I love it when he gets to Toontown and it's just absolute chaos. Felix the cat as well on the tunnel, hidden up there.
Felix the cat.
It's just fucking crazy, like.
It just goes all bright and sunny. It's like, oh my god, see, I love that. I'm glad to wait till the end to have this on. Because you're not expecting it, I mean.
It even comes with a song.
And they actually look like 1930s like cartoons that you would say, isn't it? I mean. It's for little pigs. That was with the wolf, that was banned, that was changed around. Remember that one? Then he gets
Bye,
to
Eddie.
Newcastle.
Bye, Eddie. Smashed his
It's just
car.
cool.
There's
It's so
Moana.
lovely, and then it goes to. Then it's like a big market, doesn't it? In town. Mental. Well, it used to be. The seven
Fucking mental, man. It's just like the buildings are moving, the buildings have got glasses, and there's a man appears at the top there, and
I don't know if you noticed, there was like a shop on the top left of the screen called Haircuts, and it was basically a cartoon Roger Rabbit with a pair of scissors between his neck.
now Droopy here appears in all the cartoons. Is normally like the he plays Jaws in some of the cartoons. He's just going up, sir, going down, sir.
One, yeah, steps.
But then Bob Hoskins to turn into jelly and all that, it just makes no logical sense to the rest of the movie.
Nah.
I don't see it.
But he's in Toontown now, anything can happen.
On watching this on HD, it looks really good. Actually, the Toontown bit looks really good.
Goodbye, sir.
Now, is this not like kind of a little bit of a foreseen kind of industry thing where obviously Jessica Rabbit in public is seen as the perfect female, and then obviously behind closed doors, without the makeup, without all the jazz, she's not so pretty.
Well, that's not Jessica Rabbit. That's just another random person.
Was that not Jessica Rabbit?
No.
That was totally meant to be, though.
No, well, it's,
Yeah, but he thought it was, but obviously it wasn't.
hey, Tweety. And obviously, another massive scene. Roger Rabbit, Bugs Bunny and
Bugs
Mickey
Bunny and
Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. The only time they'll ever be seen on screen together.
Unless Disney buys Warner Brothers.
What's up, Doc? Oh, no, I haven't, huh?
Well, that's it. They didn't want Mickey to do anything, so Mickey's just there, and Bugs Bunny would play tricks on them.
Yeah.
I'm available for voiceovers if anyone needs me.
Bugs does. He has a spare.
Yeah, they've done that clever, like, sort of essentially left kind of Mickey Mouse to be innocent there, haven't they?
Yeah.
Ain't I a stinker?
What's up, Doc?
I just love this bit of literally shifting the road so she walks into it.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Willie the Giant on the fucking pictures as well.
It's one of those things with all these posters on the background. You're gonna see hundreds, aren't you?
I just seen Porky Pig with some sausages.
And the shadow is even its own thing.
This is where the budget was spent, like, wasn't it? This end scene. They can tell just looks so good.
It's a hell of a gamble in that respect, but works.
Well, I'd
I'll
say-
get you gadgets next time.
Dum-dums. Which way did he go?
He went a little way, boy.
And Roger's stole
Oh,
the
yeah.
car.
So you got a bit of a Peter Pan there, a bit of.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. That one for $5, and Anvil's falling here.
Yeah.
He's a better looking than a driver, apparently.
What do you
me,
think?
I'm a better driver.
Honestly, he makes me laugh. Not be long before you get the shot of Jessica Rabbit I was on about. Just watch for when he slides across the
Yeah.
dip.
You don't need to pause the car, you can check it later on.
Right now, I'll just go online now. It'll not be weird if I do it with you two on the line, surely.
Yeah, you better put your pants back up, love.
Yeah, who's wearing pants in a podcast?
Paul's definitely not. Here you go. Ready?
Never got.
Never. I mean, not that you would, but I mean, obviously some people are, but that's terrible.
We're taking rescuers when one of the cartoons where they're flying around the town and there's a picture of a page 3 girl in one of the rooms.
window. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for like a second.
To be fair though, you could literally, if you put in like Disney sex symbols in Google, there's like a massive list of them, like all sorts of, like there's a bit where it's clear that the priest and the Little Mermaid's got a little bit of a chub on, stuff like that.
Yeah, they mentioned they changed the VHS covers, didn't it? Because it looked like a penis. Remember that?
The castle looked like, yeah.
I remember telling Brittany about that, and I just picked a random video on YouTube to watch, and again it was like the guy's top 10 or whatever, and he went through all these things, and then next one I looked at had something like 20 million views compared to this guy's who only had like 10,000 views or whatever, and it was exactly the same video. They even used exactly the same stills, and it was just another YouTuber just ripping off someone else's idea. An open exposure of Disney, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I feel sorry for the guy who first made that video because he's just been completely content ripped off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, they've all got them like making money off them. They've got adverts in them. Like fucking hell, I don't think anything that's not someone else's content on YouTube should have any kind of adverts on it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think he's starting to do that now. TikTok. There was literally the amount of videos now. They'll take, like, you go on YouTube and watch a video that like is 3 minutes long, and what they do is they just cut it up. So like they'll give you part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and like they're getting like hundreds and thousands of views. And it's just like all they're doing is taking someone like footage and putting it on their screen, making money off it. Crazy.
It's all about real estate, isn't it? In these films.
Oh, it's always been real estate.
Like Superman.
I mean, how big's that brick wall? Or do you see what I mean? How deep that brick wall had to be?
Yeah. This ain't no cartoon. That should be the better tagline.
How do you know? Larks.
Oh my
I
God.
love this bit with it. It almost looks like it's like the whole dip thing, but it looks like it's just a magic fountain. You know what I mean? It looks deep rather than.
Yeah. No, you can't not watch this and not tell me you don't think of that I think it was American Gladiators. It didn't have it on ours. You know, when they had to get to one side to the other, there was always someone with almost like a Nerf gun.
Alright. I remember Total Wipeout. Or Wipeout on BBC One, that was good.
Kind of like a modern version of Gladiators, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. It's a gladiators! And they wolf jet.
Oh, God. Can't beat Erika Johnson. What was the bloke called?
Oh, I've forgotten now. I forgot.
If you think of Gladiators, you think of Erika Johnson, and you think of Wolf.
And Jet. I think of Jet.
Jets, yeah.
Gladiators ready! And the Scottish guy who used to do the intro. Then you turn over for a crinkly bottom of Noel's house party on BBC One.
That had Sex Pest written all over it, that fucking show, like.
What's your crinkly bottom?
Wait, Noel, man? He's a Scientologist, isn't he?
There's no element of Scientologist.
I don't think so.
Bobby.
Every time you see Christopher Lloyd, you just think of Doc Brown the way it goes on, isn't it, really?
You ever seen the one called Things to Do in Denver when you're dead, when he's got alopecia and his hands are all, his fucking fingers are falling off and he's hired for a job and he's going, well, I might as well do it before my dick falls off. Just fucking like the fucking it all goes wrong and like Steve Buscemi comes around killing all the fucking Andy Garcia's henchmen off and he's just like, might as well do it before my dick falls off. It's fucking mental, like. This would have looked good in the era of them doing things in 3D again, because you could have, like, you know what I mean. They could have had the just have the cartoons stand out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because Disney did do like Lion King, Little Mermaid, and they did actually do it in 3D. But I think it was easier to do them than it is for this.
Well, they did the Predator. I think the Predator. They tried with the Predator and went, "Aye, that was way too much work."
I mean, Jurassic Park, like Carl said, looked amazing in 3D, like.
Yeah.
Because it went back to the original, like, negatives and the original, not went back to the original camera work and the original production notes and how far camera was from the actors and stuff like that. From the photograph.
That's it. When you put the effort in, it'll work. But people just want to use it as what it is, which is a cash cow.
When I seen Phantom Menace in 3D, it wasn't popping out in a screen. It was more depth of field. It was more like the background was more 3D than the foreground. It was weird. It was a different kind of 3D they used.
I went to see. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
No, it's not as good as Jaws 3D. You know what I mean?
Ha! I remember going to see Resident Evil Afterlife in 3D, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the fonts look really good at the start." Then I couldn't even fucking remember the film. Never mind anything jumping out in 3D. It was fucking terrible.
I've seen a handful of 3D films where I just sat there and thought there was absolutely nothing added to this whatsoever. I think the only problem is now these days is that I've only ever really gone out my way to watch a 3D film if it was on the IMAX screen.
I'm not joking, the best 3D film I've seen for a long time was Ghostbusters 2016. That was amazing.
Yeah, they did that really well, didn't they?
But yeah, all those things will come back around again.
Look out! Look
I
out!
don't know, to be honest with you. Not going to get much better, is it?
The only thing about 3D on home TVs, the HDR won't work because HDR is the brightness of a screen and 3D needs to be darker than the screen. You know what I mean? So you can have 3D HDR when it's a brightness level, so it won't work.
The
so
next big thing of that, it'll be like a hat, a helmet, when you're submerged in the movie and you wear it.
It'll be like
virtual reality.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I've got a Sony Brava 3D TV sitting here, if anyone ever wants it.
What's wrong with it?
How big is it?
What's it do? Is it 3D?
Yeah,
Just my old TV, it still works and everything. I just obviously upgraded to my new telly, so just sitting there collecting dust.
3D was. We've got one downstairs. The 3D looks amazing. It's 10 years old. It's not even smart, but the picture quality is unbelievable on it. So we've put it downstairs now.
No, that's the same with mine. It's like I say, when I bought mine, it was 2000. What would it be in 2000? Maybe 2011. I bought it when the Sony shop was in the Metal Centre. I ended up paying, I think, for that and the 3D Blu-ray player together. I think it worked out to be just under 1,000.
That's not bad, that night.
At the time, it was really good. And like I say, it still works, still perfectly good telly.
Oh yeah,
like I say, they've got lifespan in them.
Stop that laughing, they're all dying there with laughter. Bob Hoskins is really good in this. I mean, it just gets a bit zany.
Kick him in there.
No, this does.
They say this bit is so good. I love this bit so much.
What a kick!
It's one of the Stranger, just like he's mental and obviously.
That's Charles Fletcher as well. Guy who plays Roger Rabbit, the same guy.
Yeah.
Bye
I
bye.
think he got the worst death.
Bye bye. Even when he's dead, he's a dick.
Yeah.
I love it how they got on the wall, keep clear. Like, keep that wall clear.
Why does Judge Doom remind me of the Temple of Doom when he's going up the fountain thing? You know, the Temple of Doom bit, short run when he goes up the thing to think that the kid that's possessed. Just that camera shot was weird.
Yeah. I love this. The singing sword.
Well, do you know who it is?
John Wayne?
No, it's Frank Sinatra. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Is it, huh? I was going to say, waiting for his face to come up on the screen because I thought that's going to give it away. I don't think I would have guessed that, but now that you said it, it did look like Frank Sinatra, like.
Well, it's the song.
Yep.
I mean, it's not John Wayne, like, as a Transformer, but,
Well,
Yeah, well, I was going to say.
Optimus
Imagine
Wayne.
if he pulled out a Transformer with John Wayne, that would be fair.
Do you know what John Wayne's last movie was?
Transformers?
Nope.
I have no idea.
Paul?
No, what was it?
Gremlins 2.
Sure, that was just a bloody footage added to the bloody.
His last official film he was in, probably.
Yeah, but just a shot.
That did account like.
He wasn't really talking Gremlins there,
Well, it's the magic of the movies.
If he wasn't on set, he wasn't in the film. That's my ruling.
Really?
So you're saying Crispin Glover's not in Back to the Future 2?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I love this kick to the face. It's fucking brutal. Boosh. Like, fucking.
Oh, the glue. It just comes back to you, man.
You're right.
Who wouldn't want a big tub of glue there?
Glue's like that for me. I remember one time at work I had to glue down some info cards on like a tech table. All with the glue. I was stuck to the table within 5 seconds. It was everywhere. What did you just open?
I remember a lad in the school was I don't want to be here today, and I think about 20 minutes later, I looked at him and he went, all you heard was say, "Miss, I need to go." She, "What's the matter?" "I've glued me Pritt stick to my hand together," and his hand was a proper stuck in a fist. And he ended up having to go, he was gone for all day to try and get him. I mean, who's stupid enough to glue the fucking hand together?
That's why the stick was metal, wasn't it?
See, that's quite it's not as gruesome, but that's quite a. Because obviously you kind of don't expect them to sit up after being flattened. But at the same was like a really slow death, you know.
Well, that's it. I mean, this is a stop animation as well, and it's like miniature, and it's so well done. I'm gonna have to go to the toilet again. Fuck me.
Alright, something freaking digging into his Anna. But yeah,
I was going to say, poor Paul can't get to the toilet, you know.
it's been a week for me.
I teach it, they're clever. You know, so yeah, I've been flattened, so therefore I'm going to film myself up there.
You can tell that's just like a puppet, but looks so good though.
Yeah. See, that's I don't know if you noticed it, Paul, but that was the Popeye Glove done.
Was it? Ah, yeah.
Where he's like blonde hair sticking up, he's got the green eyes.
It's the voice, because obviously Eddie says it's the voice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Aye. Now it goes absolutely mental, doesn't it? Recognise me, Eddie? Bye. I think I said Tim Curry would have been absolutely awesome, but I think it would have been way too scary, like Tim Curry.
It would have gone a bit too dark, I think. Yeah, I think they were smart to stick with Lloyd, like. I don't know who came first, but in this context, I think they went with the right person.
That Admiral thing.
The right feel for the film.
If anyone's noticed the big Admiral in the background with like paper mache, it looks like Sylvester Stallone. I'm in Roger Rabbit. You can just see it in the background there, just behind the big balls.
He must have gotten back to work because he's just started posting Rocky IV pictures again.
I only watched that again yesterday. I was like, oh man, I should just wait for the director's cut. I just watched it yesterday.
Can't watch too much, man.
No. Woman.
If someone told me, oh, you'd be watching TV, blah, blah, years ago, oh, yeah, it's awesome. Now I'm like, I watch way too much stuff. You know what I mean?
Zoom.
I'm melting.
I'm melting.
I love this voice.
I'm not going to give any kids nightmares that.
No, not at all.
No.
What's heck?
Although I say that though, I was a kid when I saw this, and I never once thought of it being as scary or as too far. I just thought it was as entertaining.
I think because
imagine that, like just watching the film on TV and just going, that was entertaining. Opposed to dissecting it.
Yeah.
It's a very short movie as well. I mean, it's.
I think, I'll give this one credit to the timing of the film, because I feel like you couldn't have done this 2 hours. I feel like they've gotten just the right tone. This film just doesn't really stop.
That wall is definitely not super thick. Look at that, it's just one layer of bricks. And it's falling a bit. And if you look very closely at the train when it goes by, everyone's getting murdered. There's something they're hidden in the frames if you have a look when the train goes past.
I saw the train go past, but it was too fast to notice.
It's one of them, it's an iconic thing. If you have a look, every frame's got like someone getting hanged in that. And then we get ready for one of the biggest ensemble cartoon cast ever in Only Assembled, coming soon.
Well, it's everyone in it. Literally anyone you can imagine, anyway.
Even the reflection in the water, I mean, that's got to be a hard animation thing, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what was wanted? Acme Eyeballs. I'm going to order a few later on Amazon. Sorry, left there. And the third screen, those boxes. I think this is what Amazon Warehouse looks like, actually.
What, bricks lying all over where? We haven't got that in, we'll send them a brick.
It's just tactic, man. Acme DVDs and TV shows and stuff. And plungers.
That's definitely a pile of bricks. Is definitely how Zavi stole its steelbooks. That's for sure.
I think it's horrible because Judge Doom's got blood coming from his eyes. Did you see it?
Yeah. With a weird mask. I mean, again, it was just that little bit of detail. It didn't need to be there, really. Had it just been all of his clothes and green water, you would have just assumed it was him.
So basically, it was like a mask he was wearing, but you'd never seen his face, though, did you? His real identity.
There we go. Mickey Mouse, there goes Bambi. We've got Pinocchio making a cameo. Similarly, Sam, Goofy. Pluto's there. Sylvester's there. Some fucking creepy clown in the background there. Some Lion King, what looks like there.
Before Lion King.
I don't know, the whale. Disappear and reappear in ink.
Oh my god, what's that thingy? What was that big chicken called?
Goofy, Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. I say boy. All you need to do is just burn that, and then nothing will happen, and it'll be like Back to the Future.
Hannah, I bequeath you nothing.
I say boy.
Yeah, there's it. Woody Woodpecker, cows there. Dumbo's back. Looks like a life-size Tinkerbell, that one. But see, like Robin Hood and stuff. Well, again, Robin Hood's probably Robin Hood thing, but I would expect a few more like thrown in there, like. But
yeah. Upon watching this, though, it makes you wonder. It's got to be a financial thing, but it's like, given the success and given like obviously such how much you could do with all these characters, it is quite a strange anomaly that this never got like an official sequel.
We've all talked about loving it, but it's always things. Yeah. You make a sequel, it wouldn't be good as the first one.
Yes, I wouldn't want it. If someone gave me an official vote, I would say no.
Like, what would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner and stuff there, and just
Marvin the Martian.
He's fucking mint, Marvin the Martian.
Oh. Didn't Christopher Lloyd play Marvin the Martian? No, it was My Friend Martian.
Oh, My Friend the Martian, yeah.
My favorite one.
Yeah.
That's a really funny film. And then ending a Disney film with Porky Pig.
That's all, folks. Yeah. And but then again, that credit scene there, just black and white, not even scroll. That's quite weird for the kind of texture of this film.
Well, when people want to like that, it's normally because it depends on the start of a movie. Because if you don't get your name like showcased at the start of the movie, like this was, then it's all about your agents and stuff like that. You have your name big and bold at the end. It just depends.
Yeah.
Deleted
Kathleen Kennedy.
The pig-headed sequence. It's on the extras call.
Is it on there? Is it?
Yeah.
Dean Cundey as well. He did the director photography of The Thing.
Please.
So you
my God, it's in 4.0.
So I imagine yours has got so much more, Mason. But what's your special feature like on Blu-ray?
Audio commentary.
Is there a lot?
We've got audio commentary, the Roger, the short stories, Who Made Roger Rabbit, deleted scene, the pig head, before and after, tune stands in, behind the ears, on set. Are you watching the pig head sequence?
No, just because I wanted to compare it, because obviously there's like the trailer, and then there's behind the ears, the true story of Roger Rabbit, and then the deleted scene, the pig headed sequence.
Should we watch that for a little bit extra?
Yeah,
Pig head. Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1 for the deleted scene, the pig head sequence.
Bob Zemeckis, good friend of mine.
It has a good little bit of introduction of him, so he's on about it.
I think I've seen this before years ago, but I just couldn't remember when you mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's something definitely something I've seen like on YouTube or something.
I love the rushes, like, you know what I mean? It's a proper old-fashioned rushes, but they've got.
Yeah.
Maybe before they've actually colour corrected it.
Well, that's the only way you know how a film comes. You know what I mean? If you like if you it's not digital era now. If you didn't have something like taping off Video Village and all that, like you would get a rush to go, at least it looks alright before they would actually fully develop it, because it was expensive film.
Like just where Bob Hoskins had like a finger around his head there.
Like a helmet with a cage on it.
Yeah.
It looks really good though. I like that.
It shows you the full scene. Is it just showing you, has he just come out of the bathroom now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It shows you the full completed scene, so this is really good to see, like a nice composite between it.
Still, I'm just on the bit now where it's a black white hand draw and it looks really good before the colour corrected it. Looks really good.
And then washes it off, and it goes down the
That's
clip.
horrible.
But
That would give me more nightmares than what you do.
and then it shows you the full.
Is that how you break windows with a hat? Alright, excellent.
Yep.
So it's back at where I talked about it before in the podcast, where like patty cake, yeah. But again, does it introduce Christopher Lloyd too? It introduces Christopher Lloyd completely different, doesn't it, as well? So.
Yeah, totally.
Or he's gone back to Snoop in.
He's just been hit by the bouncer.
Yeah.
Pick him up.
Might just been hit by a bouncer now. I'm a little bit, a few seconds behind.
I think my Disney like loaded up quite quickly. It normally takes seconds.
There you go, Christopher Walken. Looks very skinny in this, doesn't he?
Lloyd.
Alright, Lloyd, that's all.
Bit rude.
A little bit.
What? Alright.
She's just doing that leg things up. Tights, I think you call it. Stockings.
Trying to be seductive, Paul.
So we call it.
I mean, I've never witnessed it myself, but but yeah,
No,
apparently
that's a
they do that to
phrase.
some people.
Now that's a phrase that I haven't heard for a long time. Yeah, it does introduce him.
I can see why they took it out. Like, it's not a bad scene, but I like the way his character's handled originally, or
Really
officially.
I think this might be after though. This might be a second encounter. This, just how it comes into the film, because as I say, it's going to cut here to where they're going down the tunnel.
Toontown, yeah.
You know what I mean, boss? I'm a weasel.
Ah, there you go. That's the witch and everything. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I mean, like, with the whole idea of being able to play a deleted scene, like, where they could be selected where they were meant to be, because it would read so much better if they did that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not asking for the moon, you know what I mean? It's something that we should be able to handle technology-wise quite easy.
Well, I'd say we're talking about the other day with Transformers podcast, why there's a completely extra disc, what's widescreen, why can't it handle both formats on one version?
Yeah.
It's definitely a kneecap breaker, that throne, when the stunt guy comes flying out.
Yeah, you can see one in his kneecap, in his trousers.
I mean, he's got a bag on his head as well, you know what I mean? He's not going to exactly can judge his landing that well.
Like, he's already running down the street on mine, but
Yeah.
turpentine.
Fucking pighead.
I mean, that's pretty gruesome, that, like, when you think about it, pouring turpentine on a live pig's head.
Yeah, he's got a pighead.
That's weird, that, like.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Can you remember Wind in the Willows, the old-fashioned stop animation British TV show?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was the bad guys weasels in that?
Yeah.
Weasels, yeah, often come off as baddies, yeah.
That's what I get off that image. That wasn't psycho, that. Watching its figures down there. Oh. Okay.
It's funny you mention that, because that was one of Bob's last roles that he did.
What, Wind in the Willows?
Wind in the Willows, but I'm just trying to quick
Movie.
have a look at it. Let's have a look.
The live action movie one with Matt Lucas and stuff.
No, not that new.
So anyway, how many Judge Dooms would you give it?
For me, I would give this. I'm gonna go 9.5.
Whoa!
It's almost kind of flawless for me. I think just for the recognising the technology, the effort that went into it, this could have just been an easy cash cow, and it wouldn't have been as good. It could have been very done, like much easier and a bit more lazier. But you can just see everything that they've done has taken so much time and precision, and I feel like it works. It paid off for me. Loved it as a kid. Love it just as much now. I also think it still works. You know, like I think if you put a kid in front of this today,
Probably won't be
just be entertained.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I would say 9.5. I think that's my highest rating since we've done the podcast. But
Yeah. Wow. I even beat Labyrinth and stuff like that. Wow. Mace.
I'm going to say 10. The simple fact, right? This film is the Expendables of the 80s. You got Robert Zemeckis, Steven Spielberg, Joel Silver, the composer Dean Cundey on director of photography. You've got the fucking everyone involved in this to make this happen. And it takes, like, this is before CGI was even mentioned. It's not dependent on any actors whatsoever, because like Bob Hoskins wasn't known. I mean Christopher Lloyd, but like the acting's amazing, the puppetry's amazing, the visualization of what is the product. I mean Robert Zemeckis was like, I've got final cut, and this film will be perfect. The iconicness of Disney and Warner Brothers existing in the same film. It's never happened before. It's never happened after. I just think it's like you put that on, and that's a fucking movie, and like. It's just a mental, like Dumbo fucking turning up, the extras, they're laughing out loud. It's very edgy. It's a kids film, but it's also dark, and like, have you seen it at the right age? It is. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Like again, it's just amazing. That whole pig head sequence would have took it up to nearly 2 hours, and I understand why it's been cut. But it's just brilliant. I think Bob Hoskins should have got an Academy Award for it. I don't think they recognised how good he was in that, like.
So you give it 10 Judge Dooms there?
Yeah, 10 Judge Dooms, yeah.
And you give it 9.5, Carl, Judge Dooms?
I think so, yeah.
This is where Paul says it's a 4.
That's probably the highest rated film we've done, like I said, like Carl said so far. I think it is.
What's yours like?
Me? For me, I don't mind Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I wouldn't say it's one of my personal favourites. So I'll probably give it 6 Judge Dooms. The only reason why is because I've seen it that many times, and it's not something I'll go back to all the time. You know, like Die Hard once a year, Jurassic Park at least watch once a year, Aliens once a year.
Yeah.
Something that I wouldn't go back. But I think, to be honest, watching it again with you guys, I think I'm enjoying it more now because it flew by and there's so much stuff about it that you can spot. You know what I mean? So I think I enjoyed it more for you nerds than I would if I just did it by myself. Because because I've seen it that many times. But no, I'd give it 5 Judge Dooms. The animation is really great, and Christopher Lloyd makes it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like I would have enjoyed it just as much on my own, but I do think there is a lot to say about watching it with people. I feel like because you can always like it's one of those films where like one person's going to spot something and the other person didn't. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a good conversational movie where like you can have a conversation while watching it and you're not missing things, but you also, oh, did you notice this? Oh, did anyone spot that? So I feel like it does enhance itself if you watch it with an audience.
Plus, I'm thinking like it's not as like 5. It's not like 2 hours or blah blah blah. It's actually a Ran Reed's movie. To be honest, like there was no come down. You know what I mean? Everything was right at the right time. So yeah, I said I think I'll give it like a 6 Judge Dooms for me. Like
just when you were talking about aliens, there I fell asleep pissed the other night watching Alien, and I put Aliens on, right, and that like. It looks absolutely fucking amazing. Like when that ship's flying through space at the start and you think, fuck me, that's absolutely amazing. Like, and like
Aliens is probably one of the best.
the 80s is the era of like craftsmanship. like on like old school. Like yes, there's this new generation coming forward, but like 80s was just like golden for films, I think.
That's why we grew up in the 80s, we know 80s films, and that's why practical effects and the storytelling was the best. That's why I was. It was up to me. A film now compared to a film in the 80s, I would always choose an 80s film, and obviously that's what we do most on this podcast. I've noticed there's a genre of different ones, different decades, but the 80s ones we grew up with and we know more about them. But you just kind of beat the 80s films, like.
I feel like it's because we've got the advancement, which is coming quite fast, but at the same time, it's almost like, say, Spielberg, all the best, at this time. I think the best thing about it is that they've got access to a lot of great technology and a lot of great ways to enhance the cinema, but the thing is they're also very traditionally trained, so you're getting a bit of both. Like, say, when if you get someone today, it's almost like, I don't know, we talk about it quite a lot, like the analogy of cars, a mechanic today who just come out of university will really only be able to like fix modern cars because of the criteria that they're taught. Whereas in the 80s, I feel like you had a lot of people who were taught really old school, but was also getting the advancement of the modern world at the same time, so we got a good blend. Say some films now, people are just lazy and they just want to look great, but at the same time not willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes like IMAX or 3D is a big part of that element, because the worst thing in the world when I say, I can't remember what film it was now, it might have been Alita Battle Angel. It was a good like effects film, and literally they came up on the screen at the beginning saying this film is being portrayed in an IMAX screen, but was not filmed on an IMAX camera, so things may vary. And I just thought to myself, like, who sat in the office and thought this need to be an IMAX film, but I don't want to spend the money on an IMAX camera. It's like you can't like go like ahead of yourself that way. It's like it's got to have like care, and you got to actually give a shit. And I feel like that's where you kind of really won it over.
It's like when they do night for day shoots, when they go, all right, because they've got all the technical advancements now and all that, and they go, right, instead of like going out there and filming at night and making it easier for everyone else, we'll just do it day for night, and like it just never looks right.
Well, that's it. And I think in the grand scheme of things, I think like if you treat it with respect and knowing your limit, it can work. Like the biggest example of that today, I would say, is what's called the volume, which is what they used on The Mandalorian. So basically, you don't have to worry about shooting it night and day, because this volume is like a 3D dome kind of projection. So it does look fantastic. But at the same time, in season 2 of Mandalorian, there are scenes where they're shot outside, because at the end of the day, it's like you can't always get what you want from digital enhancement. So there's a lot to say about modern technology today, which I think will work really well, especially in the near future. But it's like it's respecting the fact that sometimes you do need to have to get a bit dirty, and you have to use a bit of a practical effect just to get the right look.
Definitely good, but no, I enjoyed it. Roger Rabbit, it was a good watch.
Right, well, I don't know who is picking the next one. What we're coming back to do next?
Well, we'll have a see later on. I look forward to it.
I was gonna say, we'll have I don't know, pick 3 each, and then if there's one on the 3 that matches each other, we'll go with that. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So we'll give it like a genre. So let's just say 1990s. So obviously there's a likely chance that we'll pick the same film.
We'll do a horror, because we don't do many horrors or something like that. Right, I've been Stephen Monkey Mason. I've been joined once again by Paul Ray and Carl McSorley. This is called It's Just a Podcast. Thanks for listening, everyone, and goodbye for now.